Hey guys, I'm a gaming potato, and today I'm starting a new series in Factorio Space Age. So we'll be exploring some new planets and checking out some of the new technology and features that have been added to the game. I'll also be doing kind of a guided playthrough just to help people out if you're new time players. First thing I'm going to do is start collecting these big rocks. You can see these big rocks have stone and coal in them, which is really useful. Although I do have a mod that allows me to use some drones just to make this part a little quicker here, so we don't have to spend a whole bunch of time just sitting around watching me smack rocks. So the reason we want to do this is because mining coal this way, we can get a lot of coal really fast, which means we don't need miners to do it. So you can see I'm going to get 37 coal from this rock. That's awesome. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to start making a ton of stone furnaces. We're going to need hundreds of these. So I'm going to start off with just doing that while I collect more coal and stone. I can look on my mini map and I can see there's some stone up here. So we'll just collect that and we'll get some coal with it as well. The more coal we're able to collect, the less pollution we're going to produce through having to mine it. But there's a biter nest up here. I don't want to get close to that biter nest. I've only got 10 clips of yellow ammo, and that is not really enough. We'll collect all these guys here. And we'll head back down to our ore patches. It looks like there's a few more rock piles down here. There, one more big patch here. And let's grab these guys as well. There, we have grabbed a ton of stone and coal. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get some miners. You can see in our destroyed ship we had a miner. And I'm actually going to throw miners on my belt here. Throw furnaces as well. And we're going to put in some coal. So what you can do is grab your coal and just press Z. Every time you press Z, it'll put one coal in. Or you can hold Z down to just put a whole bunch of coal in there. We're going to let those smelt. And as soon as we have 9 iron plates, you can see we have 10 here, we can make another miner. We can see we need 5 stone and 9 iron plates. But we don't actually need that stone because we've made all these stone furnaces already. Now we're going to increase our production. And now that we're doing this, we can see all of the smoke being produced here. Also, if you press Alt, you can turn on visibility to see what your buildings are producing. I'll keep that on so you have a better idea of what I'm manufacturing in my buildings. But as I was saying with the smoke, we are producing pollution. And that is going to be bad for us. So if we look at our map, I have my pollution button here turned on so we can see the pollution being produced. Once that pollution hits these biter nests, they're going to get angry. They're going to start building attack waves that are going to come at us. So we want to try and not do that. So if we look at some buildings here, it will show us the amount of pollution they produce. So this coal, or this burner miner here, will produce 12 pollution per minute. And the stone furnace will produce 2 pollution per minute. And we've already completed our first research, which is steam power. We did that by crafting some iron plates. We'll just get some more of these in production here. And now we want to mine some copper. We're going to need copper if we want to start building electrical parts. But we don't need a lot. I think these 4 machines here are probably going to make all the copper we're going to need until we start getting some automated factory lines going. We'll get these last bits going here. And we can see we're almost done researching electronics via crafting our copper plates. So now that we've done that, we can make some power. So we're going to need some boilers. We're going to generate steam power. So we'll make a pump to pump in water. We'll make a boiler to turn that into steam. And then we're going to need a couple steam engines, which mean we need more iron plates. And you can see how I'm picking up these iron plates so fast. Rather than clicking on it and going in here and taking it, if you hold control and click on a furnace, it'll extract whatever's inside of it. So if I click and drag across all of my furnaces, it'll just pick everything up that's inside of them. That allows you to do it very quickly. So we'll make 2 steam engines. And I'm also going to need some wood. So each tree is going to give you 4 wood. So why don't we throw down a water pump? We don't have to worry about where we place stuff right now because it's going to be mostly temporary. We'll hook up our boiler to our water. And each boiler can feed steam to 2 steam engines. I'm going to leave a gap here and build a pipe to put a pipe in between them, just so I have space to put a power pole there. Then we're going to feed this with coal. I'm just going to grab 50 and control click on my boiler, and that has filled all 50 in there. So now it's going to preload with steam. So you can see right now both these engines have filled with steam. And eventually, there, the boiler is now at the bottom right. We can see it's full of steam. And now coal usage has stopped. It will only burn fuel when power demands it, which is really nice. So I'm going to make some more power poles. I'm going to place some more power poles. And you can grab anything you mouse over just by pressing Q. So if I mouse over my water pump and press Q, it'll grab more water pumps. So I don't have to search in my inventory to find it. I don't even have to go to my tool belt and click on it. If there's one there, I can just press Q while I mouse over it and make more. So I'm just going to drag select power over here. Just like that. And we'll harvest our resources. And we can start working on our first research. So we're going to need some labs. I think we'll build 2 labs. And then we can start making red science, although we haven't actually researched it yet. We need to craft a lab before we can craft red science. While those are crafting, I'm just going to collect more resources. I'm also going to check my map, check my pollution here, make sure I'm not getting too close to these biter nests. There we go. We crafted our first lab. We'll just place that here. Now we can start crafting science packs. To start, we're going to need 10. And the reason we need 10 packs is so we can research automation, which is the first thing you'll always want to research. There, we've got them researching now. If I control click on my inventory in a blank space, it will take anything that can be put into that building and place it in there. All right, let's do automation. And as soon as we have 10 of these in here, we will have researched automation, allowing us to make assemblers. There we go, that's 10. So we should be able to finish our research with this. And I think while we wait, I'm going to make some more power poles. There we go, we've researched our assembler. So let's craft a couple of these. I think 3 should be good. Maybe we'll do 4. You want at least 3, so you can have one assembler crafting gears, another assembler crafting copper wire, and then a third one making electric circuits. Alright, so we'll go like this. So this guy, we're going to make gears. We're going to need a lot of gears. So we'll just load that, let that run. This one is going to make copper cable and feed those into this one to make electronic circuits. And we'll craft a couple inserters. So we can feed the circuits into this assembler here. We're going to need 3 of them. And now we're going to need another one here to output into some boxes. Just going to grab those excess ones. So this is the main thing we need. We need lots of gears and lots of green circuits. Now, why don't we get this other machine here? We'll come down here. We'll go like this, and we'll get this doing red science. Just need some more iron. Now the next thing we need to handle our pollution. Pollution is going to be a big problem. Look at that, we're about to hit these biters. And in order to do that, we need to get electric miners. Electric miners are going to produce less pollution. They produce 10 per minute instead of 12, but they produce twice as much ore. So you're actually getting a over double reduction in the amount of pollution you're producing. And I'm also going to produce a bunch of ammo, because I'm probably going to need it. Luckily, the trees here are absorbing a lot of our pollution. We'll just keep an eye on our copper mine here. Make sure we don't run out of resources. Alright, we've got some extra bullets. Basically, just want to focus on getting our electric mining drill. Maybe I'll go like this. There, now we got 2 machines crafting red science. And we just want to keep our circuit board production going. Now we could make more miners and smelters here to produce resources faster, but our pollution cloud is going to get bigger. And we don't want that. So I think this is good enough for now. We'll just keep collecting our outputs. And we just want to get that electric mining drill. That alone will really increase our output without increasing our pollution. And why don't I just craft a bunch more stone furnaces for now? And we're saving a lot of pollution by not mining coal. Oops. I accidentally took coal out of the miners there. Yeah, we would be producing much more pollution if we had to mine coal. But luckily we have a lot still, so we don't have to. So there, we have researched our electric miners. So I'm going to craft 4 of those. And I'm going to get rid of all of these. And I'm going to craft some belts. All right. I'm going to belt directly onto there. And we're going to grab some inserters. Oh, it looks like we're out of gears. We'll hook this all up to power. We don't want to direct insert our electric miners into the stone furnaces. We want to have a belt like this because we've doubled our output by going to electric. So one of these is now going to feed 2 smelters. So if we direct insert, we don't get that. We only get the 1. There we go. There, now we've more than halved our pollution production from iron ore extraction. Now I want to make more electric miners. We'll get our copper on electric miners as well. But here we're only going to need 2. And we'll just insert like that. Hook this up to power. There we go. There, now we're saving ourselves even more pollution. Next, let's research military science. I want to get an SMG. That'll help me take out this biter nest here. Nice, 155 circuits. Oh, it looks like we ran out of power. We'll just stick some more coal in here. And maybe we'll expand our power production. Just like this. This will allow us to hold an additional 50 coal in our second boiler here. Their power will last a lot longer now. Yeah, our pollution cloud is not expanding. Also, our assemblers here are producing 4 pollution per minute as well. Alright, military science is complete. We want an SMG. And I'm going to make some more ammo as well. Next, why don't we get... Gun turrets are quick and easy. We'll knock out this first stuff. Alright, so what we need are a lot of inserters and belts. So why don't we get an assembly here making belts. We're going to need gears to do that. So why don't we take those gears. And why don't we make some more inserters? And we'll start outputting. And why don't we bring... Yeah, we'll bring we'll bring iron plates directly to our inserters. Just need some gears. And we'll output our belts into a box. Yeah, it looks like you actually need a couple of these. Which once we have fast inserters, that won't be a problem. We can see it produces belts faster than a single inserter can actually take them out. Just keep an eye on our pollution. Also, if we go to our production stats and look at pollution, we can actually see what our pollution absorption looks like. Right now, just the ground and trees are absorbing pollution. But if biter nests start to absorb pollution, we'll see it here and we'll know that it's happening, even if we don't see it on our map, which is really nice. And actually, you can also see here, look how much pollution the burner miner drills were making. Now, we're not using them anymore, so we can see this is what our pollution production looks like. So it's mostly coming from our miners. There we're making a lot of belts really fast. I'm gonna go like this. And I'm gonna get another machine making gears. Also, if you notice how I applied gears to this machine without going inside of it, if a machine is empty, if you shift right click on a machine, you'll copy its recipe. And if you shift left click on another machine, you'll paste its recipe onto that machine, which is really nice. All right, we need copper plates in here. And we also need iron plates over here. So we're about to research logistics, which we will need in order to split our belts. Why don't we just move this right here. And there we go. There we go. Almost 350 belts. On our way to researching logistics. Pollution cloud is still looking good. We need to focus on making a lot of miners. And we're going to need a lot of iron plates to do that. So I think we should increase our iron plate production. We'll make some more inserters. Now this is going to increase our pollution. Alright, I think it's time to take care of this biter nest. Maybe, like, there's a lot of biters there. So I think I'm going to build a gun turret. Just make sure all our smelters are looking good. Two gun turrets. Oh, we're out of power again. Why don't we get some more coal first? Take a look at the mini map. Yeah, here's a good rock. Another good rock down here. Yeah, there's 2 biter nests over here. All right. We want to take out this worm here. Now we'll get closer. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have enough ammo for that. That's alright though, we took out a big chunk of their nest. We're just going to have to make more ammo. $20 iron plates. Let's research repair packs. Green science. There, I think we've got enough now to take out this nest. Although I'm worried about, yeah, see, I don't want those guys, just these 2. So I think I'll take out the swarm. I'll just help out my turrets here. And we're out of ammo again. Yeah, like early game, you need tons of ammo. Smack them with a hammer. Alright, I think it's time to get a more permanent power solution, as we're burning through a lot of power. And we're out of coal. So if we want to mine coal, we're going to have to go over here. Grab some belts. I could clear out these trees, but they are absorbing pollution for me right now. So I'd really rather not. And I'm going to expand my power grid as well. So I think I actually want my power grid to change directions. I want it facing upwards like this. I'll then have my coal belt come up this way. Coal feeding in. Power like that. And we just need a couple more pipes. Alright, now we just need to feed in some coal. And actually what I want to do, I want a separate power grid, or really a separate set of power lines, just to feed my coal, so that if something happens to my power grid, it's easy to get everything up and running again. And now we've got coal coming in over here. Now if something happens to my grid, all I gotta do is disconnect this pole, and I'll make sure I've got power at least going to my coal. There we go. Alright, let's get some more coal miners. And I'm just going to find some more rocks to get some quick coal for my smelters. It's pretty easy to find your coal rocks if you just look on the map. You just got to find the rocks that have the coal in them. There we go. That's a decent amount of coal for now. There, now we shouldn't run out of coal for a while. Alright, let's take care of this last biter nest. Alright, now our pollution cloud can expand a little bit further. Alright, we need more miners. And a lot more inserters as well. And you know, since I have so much stone, why don't we just get one machine here, going like this. There we go. And this is a perfect opportunity for a fast inserter. You can see how fast they are. There, that'll speed it up even more. Get rid of all my stone. Got a bit of iron ore as well. So what I really want now, my main goal, is to build a smelting stack. So here I have a set of my blueprints. These blueprints are available in the description of my video. So I've got blueprints for all stages of the game, for other planets as well. But the main thing here is in the smelter section. I have a starter smelter. This will smelt a full yellow belt of resources. So you can see it's pretty big, and we're going to need a lot of parts to make it. You can see here all the parts we need. We're going to need 96 inserters, which I almost have. And then everything else I've basically got. We'll build a couple underground belts and a couple splitters as well. Just going to need a bunch of iron plates for that. Now before I place these, because they're so large, I actually plan to use a mini city grid. So if we go here, yeah, the mini city block. So this is a pretty good setup. It gives you power as well as roboports, which of course we can't build yet. And then it's got a bunch of concrete and refined concrete. But right here, I have a tier 1 version of it that doesn't have any of the concrete in it, just some power poles. We can figure out kind of where we want stuff to go. But I'm basically going to start by just placing a couple of these down. I plan to build my base going south. Everything's going to come down south here. And I'm thinking this here will probably be my center line. So this will be the main bus area. This whole row here will all be main bus with science on the left and intermediate products on the right. So now that I know that, I can figure out where I want to place my smelters. Why don't we grab some coal here? And we'll make some more inserters. Alright, let's find starter smelting line. So we're going to smelt down into here. Now I'm going to let these smelting lines stick over here a bit. And actually these smelters, if you line them up with these tier 2 poles right here, I can perfectly fit 4 of them in here. So I'm just going to get rid of these. And we're going to have to clear out some trees. So we'll set our deconstruction planner to just deconstruct trees and rocks. But we don't want to clear out everything. So I think I'm going to have 4 rows of iron smelters. Then over here will be 4 rows of copper smelters. Then this will be steel, and I think on the other side of copper I'll actually have some stone. So just for starters, yeah, we'll go something like this. I don't want to get too close to my ore patches. There we go. This is one reason I wanted to have robots like this, so you didn't have to sit there and watch me do all of this by hand. So now that we have this, we can feed coal into it and our iron ore and start making a lot of additional resources. So I think I'm going to have my coal come down right here. Alright, I think it's time to set my tool belt properly. There we go. We'll set a splitter here. We want priority, output priority to the left. That way it always fills this belt first because this is going to our power production. Then excess coal will come down this line here. All right, coal is going to start feeding in there. And we can start to get iron in. While we do that, we want to make more miners. There we go. Got an extra 250 stone furnaces. Alright, coal's about to come in. And I think I can build my copper line as well. Just make sure we're level here. You can see it won't let me build because there's trees in the way. If you hold shift while you do it, it will then let you do it, and your drones will pick up everything in the way. There we go. Gonna need a bunch of additional inserters as well. All right, so we've got a full smelting stack for iron and copper ready to go. Now, while these preload with coal, I'm also going to remove these two power poles. And I'm going to set up my main bus. So my main bus, I'm going to want rows of 4 with a 2-line gap in between. Now you can see this isn't perfect, so we're just going to take this. I'm going to go like that. There, that is perfectly aligned. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to pick these 4 rows here will be iron. These 4 rows will be copper. So I'm going to start lining these up. And then we'll get copper over here. So we're really just looking for miners now. And what we need is 30 miners to fill a belt, because a miner here, we can see, produces half an ore per second, or 1 ore every 2 seconds, which means 30 of them will produce 1 ore every, or 15 ore per second, which will completely fill a yellow belt, which we can see here, transport belt, 15 items per second. So I think what I'm going to do is deconstruct all of this now. We'll go in here, we'll find, let's see, miners. This is a nice blueprint here. You can see it's got the flag in the middle. So what this can do is I can click and drag with it. Let's see, let's go. Yeah, I think this is a good spot. Actually, I'll start at the bottom here. Click and drag. And it perfectly places them just like that. We got 23 here, which is almost enough for a full belt. And then I put underground belts in here so that I can make these miners as compact as possible. Why don't we grab an extra stack here, put them right there. Just like that. There we go. We got a ton of miners. We're going to start using a lot of power. You can see we're at 50% power usage. That's why I wanted to expand this. So we're going to have to clear out some of these trees. I don't want to clear out too many though. Just enough to make sure I've got all my ore available. And I think I want these coming out to the right. And let's just path out our belt here. All right, there we go. Yeah, a bunch of these are already out of ore. We may as well just take those and place them up here. All right, now I think we're ready to start working on our first big project, which is a mall. We're about 1 hour in, so my goal for next episode is to build this mall. This is a modular mall. You can see it's pretty large. It's basically going to take up this whole city block here. But this is going to produce all our starting resources. You can see here it's got all of our inserters, all of our logistics, assemblers, miners, pipes, labs, and all the intermediate products to make it. This is going to automate basically the entire beginning of the game for us. So our next goal is to build everything we need to actually make this. You can see we got probably all our belts. A lot of this other stuff is pretty simple. We're going to need a bunch of underground belts and a bunch of inserters to do this. But that'll be our goal for our next episode, is that, and then probably we'll automate red and green science as well, with a goal of 60 science per minute. But this is pretty good for 1 hour. We've basically got almost a full, well, we do have a full belt of iron, and almost a full belt of copper as well. Alright, if you enjoy my content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll have more episodes soon. Alright, thanks. Bye.